the way. I took the scales, it's in the place, we all get a share. Niggas gon' hate, do I look like I care? I was dealing with pain, frustrated with life, how many were there? Thanks to the few, for staying true, I owe this to you. It all comes with paying your dues. Some couldn't walk a day in my shoes, light on my feet, never light in the ass. You hummingbirds can't say you're bumping them word, I'm way out of your class. Oh, do I say, I mastered degrees. Life is a test, every day is a task. Progress to your best, give it all that you have. Rip up the block, peel the paint off the ass. Never lose sight of your goals. I made diamonds from doubt, turn my grief into gold. My destiny was set in stone. They selling ass and selling souls. Hands off a cider, hands off my pocket. You know that chopper, body's probably rocket blocker. All they heard was bow, 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 sound like Waka Flocka. Straight to the top about it, ain't no doubt about it. Best believe we on the road. No limit, so we body, chiefin' on a whole lot of woe. Number one with a bullet, no. Similarly, boost hit the function, we Hennessy. I feel like 96 Tennessee. Yeah, ho, I'm on they head, fo. Always ignoring the sound. Now I put more in they mouth. Don't call me your king when y'all giving whores the crown. Y'all niggas watered down in me. I'm prohibitionary looking. I'm like a 9 on the Brooklyn Sublime state of mind, no ordinary nigga.
ETM Hotel, Rennie Sean. Welcome in peace. My name is Sean. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into Kofi Pie Side TV. You're now dealing with the Kofi Pie Side research team. And please like the show, share the show, tell a friend. We're actually live. This is an impromptu bill, and it is my apologies to the ancestors. Before we get going in this particular build, I do want to kind of clear the air, right? Before clearing the air, because first, let me just be clear about this. When I say I'm clearing the air, I'm clearing consciousness. I'm clearing my consciousness, and hopefully all the people that are tuned in this evening, your consciousness. Because I didn't bear witness to whatever had transpired or had taken place. I was just only in communications with my brother Sutek and my brother Chavis in regard to the conversation. So before I even go any further than that, I do want to say peace to the chat, peace to people that'll catch the replay, peace to everybody that's actually subscribed and been following along with whatever we've been doing on this particular channel and the Master Warrior Clan YouTube channel. Remember the Kofi Pie Side research team. You just had a presentation done by Brother Chavis a few days ago, and he laid out a well, not groundbreaking, but he laid out a hell of an argument, and we're going to look back at that argument, and then we're going to go forward. But before I do any of that, boom, I see your question in the chat. Let me put it on the screen for the people that are not paying attention to what's going on, and I want to deal with this. So, was Madupe a Tatswana man initiated into the Dogon? No, he was not initiated into the Dogon. Did the white guy who visited the Dogon and lived with them get initiated into the Dogon? Grill was initiated into the Dogon. First of all, people are misrepresenting Madupe's response in a video that I put them up on. Okay? First of all, it's called projection. They're giving you their interpretation of what Madupe never cleared up. He went there to study the Dogon. He went there to deal with the cultural astronomical aspects of their teachings, right? Okay. Now, when someone asked him a question about seeing a star and all these other things, he said what he said in the video. But no one ever assessed or claimed that they saw a star. So this is where research methodology and comprehension comes into play. So I'm only doing this without any understanding of what transpired on the previous show because I wasn't involved in it. I didn't see it and I wasn't. The reason that I didn't tune in or watch the show is because I looked at the title and I all right. Let me be honest with y'all. And I don't know if he tuned in right now cuz I'm talking or not. Really doesn't bother me at all. But I know Bobby. That's why I call him B-side Bobby. I know Bobby. He can't argue in this subject matter. He can't argue from the A side. When it comes to the Dogon, he can't argue from the A side. When it comes to ancient Kemet, he can't argue from the A side without help. That's where Asar, Ujawu, Sanjeti, that's when Smash come into play. Now that's nothing against Bobby because he's handicapped. He has to rely on his team, right? He has to rely on his team to help advance his understanding and his studies in a particular area because he's handicapped. He doesn't know the language or understand the cultural aspirations of the Remesh. So he just deals with the other stuff that he likes, right? Anthropology, archaeology. He stays within that realm. So with the Dogon, he has a safe space that he's willing to stay in. Not really, but he can only argue from a certain perspective, and it comes from his own ignorance. Now, I'm not dissing him. I'm not talking crazy about him. I ain't doing none of that. I am telling you I know his strengths and I know his weaknesses because I study. I go beyond where his limitations are. It's like the ignorant people, right? They say it says where God begin. It said where God what is when you insert God, that is where your ignorance begins. It is at that point that you no longer know that you're willing to invest in the belief. And that's where your God goes. Your God goes where your beliefs begin. So I apologize to the ancestors because I know many of you have tuned in to what you thought that you was going to get a response to Brother Chavis's presentation. Unfortunately, they don't have the time to actually deal with it. I was informed that they spent 30 minutes on something and then that's what they was going to come out with. So rightfully so, the only thing that they could come out with was talking about a telescope in the beginning. I heard at the beginning they came out with the guy that leading up to the progression of a telescope. So it's going back to tools. See, the last conversation when dealing with Fukiao, and Sar and Bobby had their conversation. Bobby was on the B side of that conversation. And what did he resort to? He resorted to tools, which had nothing to do with the actual teachings of the Congo. He reverted somewhere else because he ain't safe nowhere else. So his research is handicapped. He told us that whenever I become the smartest person in the room, I need to get out of the room. One, and he said that whenever I'm overstepping my boundaries and I'm not on par with my research and my skills, y'all need to check me. Two, when he was checked, he fought. So let me go back to Boom. Boom says, so if Madupe wasn't initiated, no, Madupe was in West Africa among the Dogon for a few weeks. He was up there doing research. So if Madupe was not initiated into the Dogon, then personally I would throw him out. No. You don't throw him out because he has no problem. He never dissed he never dissed or disregarded the Dogon's understanding of astronomy at all. He never made that assertion. What he said was in the video that I introduced them to, he only said what he said to the dude who asked the particular question in regard to some of the claims that were made about the Dogon. Because he knew in the same book that's written, because he's in the same African cultural astronomy, he's in that book. In the same book that's written and published, with him being in the book, he acknowledges the fact of what they uncovered in the land of the Dogon. So you stay right there. So I don't do projections, and I'm bad. I'm bad at trying to make people understand the projection. So when I say projections, this is what I mean. If I told you 15 times that the Dogon never seen Sirius B, why are you telling me that they ain't? Why you keep taking me to an argument about them seeing something? It is a fact that everyone could see Sirius A. That's a fact, right? It is also to a fact that in many West African traditions and cultural aspects, right, they have this thing about duality. That's a fact, right? Because you see duality in nature, and man forms this assertion. Well, I can't say assertions, but man formed this ideology based on the mere fact of what they see that's around them. So how did we get here? Let's be clear. How did we get here? So let me share my screen. And y'all can jump on, man. Y'all act like y'all can't jump on. I ain't gonna be all day. So how did we get here? On a show, someone said that they didn't understand what a star system was. This was a show that was on this channel, and I told them that, hey, the claim is that the Dogon understood what a star system was. When I brought out the star system, someone had a problem with the star system. So they Googled it on the spot and wanted to try to have a conversation about a star system when the whole show wasn't even about the Dogon. They came on with the mess. So, because you don't know anything about it and you just looked this up, why am I finna have a conversation with you when you want me to explain something to you? I felt no need to explain it to you at this time because you were unlearned. You didn't know. No disrespect to the brother, but he didn't know. As I said a month or two ago, what are the claims of the Dogon? Not Grill's claims, not Van Beek's claims, and definitely not Temple. He spaced out. So what are the claims? None of them can deal with it. So you get the very first question in Chavis's presentation. Then it goes on. Did the Dogon have knowledge of a star system? So we define what it is, and then we get to the question, Sheffrin's question. Next, did Grill influence their understanding of a star system? You remember, Sheffrin was on the show, right? The brother was on the show and said he is of the Masi Warrior clan when we had the conversation. He said that he was of the belief. Remember, y'all, I showed y'all a piece of paper where I wrote it down. He said when it came to the Sirius B, he said it's a myth that led to their teachings of a companion star, and they had no observation from nature or knew when it came to Sirius B. Remember when he said that? And then he asserted that he is of the belief because of the time period that Grill influenced this understanding on the Dogon. That was his claim. We never saw evidence for that. Just like I told him in his inbox, just like you did us on Nzinga, you made an assertion that there was a slave market and slaves were being sold, and you never showed us the evidence of that. You ran from that. So now you ran from that claim you made, and you're running from this claim that you made. So I'm trying to put everybody back into perspective, because you need to know that when you're watching a show and someone claims to be rebutting something, they gotta be able to refute everything else moving forward that Chavis does in the presentation. His next question was, what can be extracted from the responses to Van Beek? This was something personal, because many people don't even understand Van Beek's argument. Now, I asked my brothers, because they were on off and on, and Chavis was arguing with him and hopped on the panel and all of that. He said, did they deal with your presentation? A direct answer to that was no. I said, well, what happened first? They said Unc started talking about tools. I said, exactly. That is the only place that he's going to go, because that everywhere else is where his ignorance begins. And because he's atheist, the God killer, he can't assert God there, because then that doesn't make him atheist anymore. So he can't really have that belief. He just can't believe that Africans can do such a thing unless they're from ancient Kemet. Then it's an all-out brawl for the Africans over there. So if they didn't define what a star system was, then they got off on the wrong foot. If they didn't define the Dogon having knowledge of a star system, then they got off on the wrong foot. If they didn't deal with Sheffrin's claim and provide evidence to say that Grill influenced their understanding of a star system, they got off on a wrong foot. If they went anywhere else other than what you see on this screen, they got off on the wrong foot. And I just want to say to my ancestors, I apologize, because Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben, y'all argued with each other passionately about the best dynastic period in ancient Egyptian history. One arguing the 12th, another arguing the 13th, or whatever the case may be, right? Y'all had these heated debates between one another, and you talked about them openly in your differences there, right? Never hashing out the totality of that argument, only going based off the feeling of something. Here we have it again, not saying that either one of us are as great as Dr. Clark or Dr. Ben. And what's different in the argument is that we're willing to do the work that our ancestors had bestowed on us to move the pendulum forward and advance scholarship in this area, and hash out the differences and deal with what actually the Dogon knew, and yet and still we don't get a response. We get projection. So what I went out and I did, right? What I went out and I did was, okay, now I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. None of them had this book. None of them. They'll lie to you and say, yeah, we been had the book. Sheffrin, you said that. We been had the book. You have been had lie. None of y'all had this book. None. See, you see his name right here, Rodney Madupe. This is the guy that Boom is asking about in the chat. All right. So y'all already know where I'm going. So ain't no sense in trying to do all this extra stuff. Let me get to 251. I don't even know if I can get that out of the way. It don't matter. All right, so I want to be real careful here. When I showed this to people the last time on my show, on the Mossy Warrior Clan channel, I specifically told people this one thing, that the Dogon priest said that Sirius had a companion star that was invisible to the eye. So the whole what they saw, what they see is over with when it comes to the companion star, because they admitted that they didn't see it. They didn't see it. Not with the human eye. It can't be seen with the human eye. The companion star that was invisible to the human eye. So it was over with. At that point, any claim of them seeing anything was over with. At that point, that ruled out all the assertions and the assumptions. It ruled it out. The totality of the argument regarding seeing something was over with. They said it was invisible to the eye. So now we should have moved past that because we've cleared up a lot of things. But that's not the case. That's not the case. We're running amok. We're running amok. So now I wasn't there, so I can't expound on anything other than what was told to me. And what I felt like was disingenuous. It goes back to how all these arguments begin with one person that says, I'm going to check out your presentation. And then he checks out the presentation, and then he doesn't call you on a cell phone like he said he was going to do. And he just go live on his channel for content and views, and then start to reject what these people know or don't know based on his own ignorance and his inability to want to study to see if they knew anything. So Chavis then comes up and he says, I want to see them deal with Potolo. So he's texting, having a conversation off to the side. He said, I'm texting Bobby right now. I told him to hit me up when they Potolo. So they get to Potolo, and then they start trying to project to say that it means many things. Right? Okay. All right. Potolo means many things. But in their language, Potolo also means po is a noun, phonio, cultivated grain, phonio, cereale, cultivate. Then it goes on to explain farther, right? It's talking about what po means. Then it goes further and says tolo, noun, morning star, visible at about 4 a.m. in the east. Star. So it asserts in their language that this is something small like a grain. Morning star here. But this ain't the only place that we see it. See, you can't let them sucker you into something and then you don't regard their languages. So you have to deal with this on many levels. Now, I don't know what anyone else said on the channel. I don't really care. You go for the head. In this conversation, you go for the head. And this when it gets greasy. because the person told us when they start slipping on a scholarship that we need to check them. But then you ran from the check and it was in private. And then you made it public. And then you go back private and we have our personal conversations. And then everybody's on the same page. And then you go public and it is no longer the same thing. So there's a wishy-washy thing going on here. There is when we reel your ass back in. Oh, you suddenly you understand it in private. Not in front of your audience, but in private, you understand it. But as soon as you get around the cronies, you run amok. The inconsistencies in your leadership qualities make me question you overall. Because we just left you with a bunch of information for you to digest and to learn from, and you took it as such, and you was cool. But then you play us to the left. You know, like that phone call you were supposed to give me after you watched the first fire. But it ended up being a live stream. So I felt disrespected by that because you told me yourself, I'm gonna hit you up after I watch it. That's the phone call. Remember, that phone call never happened. So when we're dealing with this information, we ain't dealing with beliefs, bruh. We ain't dealing with no freaking aliens. We ain't dealing with no hot damn it temple. We ain't dealing with no myths of the Dogons and all this. So we ain't dealing with them pseudo ass books. We're going to go to what we can show and prove and demonstrate. We ain't going half cocked. We ain't shooting from the hip. We don't pack limp over here. We got full erected phallus scholarship over here. No homo. Pause. The scholarship is on erect over here. We ain't half cocked. We don't need no batteries in our back, and we don't need no blue pills. Scholarship crazy over here.
You silly kid. I just want to let people know, man. Like, if you go back and watch the video that they just had when Kent was reading about when they supposedly start talking about Potolo, there's a whole different star name on that exact. I think it's on the second page. So how in the hell is they calling everything Potolo and they got a whole nother star name right there on the page? Like, it's more. It's a comprehension issue, like reading comprehension. It's reading into text and stuff, like, because you don't know what you're reading because you probably didn't read it from the beginning and put everything in context because that's not what you're reading for. You're looking for I got you moment. It'll have you looking crazy saying stuff like Potolo means a bunch of things when that's a whole dictionary right there telling you what Po means. Then it tells you what Tolo means. If you can't even understand prefixes and suffixes, like, come on, man. We can't even much. Like, it's the second time the mischaracterization of the idea of the star has taken place after being corrected. Really, it's more than that because I already did that, but it's crazy, and I can tell it's a comprehension issue now, man. And we can't save everybody, so y'all can watch the video. You know what I'm saying, and pull what we got, the sources in there. And then another thing I wanted to address real quick. Dude said that we didn't deal with Cedric said we didn't deal with the myth of
Who is Cedric?
What that guy? Who? Whatever, said.
Who? He said we didn't.
One that said he's gonna do a presentation and that we got a whole bunch of apologetics.
Did he do a presentation?
I don't know. I didn't want, like I say, I got up out there when I was asked to leave.
What work has he done?
I mean, it is community.
All right.
Oh, right, yeah,
Oh, okay, all right.
I ain't seen no presentations though.
All right, I ain't think you did. So all right, let's move on from
Bro.
let's move on from that. Let's move on from that. Cause we ain't gonna get nowhere on that.
No, I just want to. He be on there talking like he really be watching this shit. He could not have watched none of the presentation, or I seen him in the chat. He must have came in and left out because what he stated wasn't in the presentation. It was literally in the presentation. We literally showed we dealt with the how. Then we even showed you them practicing the goddamn ritual.
Hold on, let me ask you something. Have you seen this screen before? Ladies and gentlemen of the chat, have y'all seen this screen before? Let me show y'all something. Have y'all seen this screen before? Yes or no? Tell the truth. Have you not seen this screen before? Yes or no? You saw this screen before when I pulled it out.
Yep.
I took y'all to this screen and removed the data. This is the website of the source that they were reading from.
The NASA one.
This is the website.
The NASA one that didn't say nothing about the word, right?
Yes, it says absolutely nothing about what they were projecting.
He didn't understand why I didn't grasp that from what he read. He like kind of like chuckled, like how could I not? And I was like, because it didn't say nothing like that. Like it's also speculating. Like if you can't read the language that's being used, you could tell that they're speculating too. So, and then that whole thing was based on temple. And then there's a whole kind of discount Griole as well going on over there. Like, how are you going to use Griole? And he's the one that documented the stuff, and nobody's really throwing out everything that he documented because it's documentation.
You can't use oh boy. You can't use because Temple's in there. The problem is you can't use Temple. His assertions are opinion based, and he's projecting as well on everyone else regarding those things. And then that's where you start having issues and problems with certain things, and then you can't really extract the information that you really want to deal with in this conversation. So I did see. Shout out to James Powell. I seen the screenshot that said that you wanted me to come help straighten out some things. Well, first, it always gonna begin with the research methodology. See, I told Chavis that. I mean, and I told Sutek, and I also told Sheffrin that. I said, listen, man, they don't want to deal with, I see you, Potolo. They don't want to deal with the real information. So what is the real information, ladies and gentlemen? The real information is very simple. I showed y'all the 4 research questions that Chavis had in his presentation. If you're doing a show, you have to deal with Chavis's presentation and the 4 research questions. They would have to falsify Chavis's data or show where they agree with Chavis at. Did they say they agree with him on the star system? No, they never made that assertion. Did they say that they agree with him about the Dogon having their own understanding before Grill? No, because they don't know how to attack that argument. They didn't look at the presentation because in the presentation, we showed you that they have artifacts that are over 400 years old. That takes Grill all the way out of the equation, right? In their artifacts, their artwork, them Dogon doors, and the writings and things of that nature. They're dealing with their cosmology and their understanding of their natural world and their artistic expression. Very similar to the Egyptians. And I'm only bringing this back to the point because it only seems like more folks can only argue from the A side when it comes to ancient Kemet, but when it comes to anywhere else on the continent, you on the B side. It's just that simple. You're unstudied. You're unstudied. And it's okay because that's not your expertise. Your expertise is on human evolution. So you just really need to be dealing with that South Africa's perspectives that help support where you are in human evolution, and then your belief in your atheism, whatever that is. Notice that I said your belief in, right? Because you proclaim to have created your own real black atheism, and then you abandoned it. This is not a shot, it's just a simple fact. I'm just showing you where your ignorance is. We know you have a love for anthropology and stuff like that. You like archaeology, that's your realm. You like going back and dealing with man 10,000 years, 20,000 years ago. You like that. That's your thing. Stay right there. We can learn from that. We can expound and continue to build on that. There's a lot of nuggets in that. But when it comes to West African history, you don't know much. When it comes to being specific and dealing with these people in these areas, these different ethnic groups, you don't know much. Not in West, not in Central, not in South, not in East. You only know about the Remech because that was the most popular argument and the one you've had the most experience in for the last 11, 12, 15 years. That's a fact. And ain't taking none away from you. So when you take a step back when it comes to the language and the culture and all of that in ancient Kemet, why you don't do that in other aspects of your studies? Hold on, let me see what these brothers got. Chavis gave you a 3-hour presentation. If we go look at your watch history, you pull up your YouTube right now live and we go to your watch history, I guarantee you we ain't gonna get an hour. Guarantee you. We ain't gonna get an hour on Chavis's presentation out of your watch history. Now, I ain't talking about nobody else. I'm only talking to one person. Because that's where it starts. Because you came on immediately and you did the same damn thing you did with the Congo. You start talking about fucking tools and didn't even properly understand what the hell everybody else was talking about. So you had no command. And then you said we didn't have to bring the tanks out. You don't have a tank. You don't have a tank. Let's be real. You don't. You have a panel full of people that are disabusing themselves of their own pseudoisms. And then it's you. A whole nother topic, a whole nother lane. You cool. That's a problem. So it's more conjecture and it's more projection. And I'm not trying to diss anybody. I'm not trying to belittle them. I'm not trying to piss on them. I'm trying to give you perspective. Because this is what happens. It's the B-side bullshit again. You didn't address the presentation. Let's just no sugarcoating it. You didn't address the presentation. The man spent his entire time putting that together so people could learn, discern, and move on from that. And you didn't deal with it. And then when you wanted to make a response, because it took you some time, you didn't really know what was going on. It took you some time. And see, this is again, I apologize to my ancestors for this and to our ancestors for this. It's because I knew what to expect. I saw it coming. They can tell you. I'm telling you, they can tell you from a mile away. Every time that we do a presentation on a subject matter and we are nailing it down, they shut the hell up. And then they come up with some barbarous bullshit argument. And the problem with that is this. It is not based on sound research methodology. Therefore, whatever you say is just your opinion. It's just your opinion. We did the shows. We did the cultural astronomy show. We did the astronomy show. We did the oral history show. We looked at anthropology. We looked at cultural anthropology. We did all of these things to build up to the moment to help people understand. And we provided you a plethora of sourced material for you to grow in the conversation and in the discovery of it so that you can understand. Looking, first of all, let me openly admit this would help all of us, right? Look at history and study history and learn from history differently. It was the missing pieces in our research. And I'm saying everybody. I don't care if you're a Hebrew, a Moor, a Egyptomaniac. I don't give a damn if you the Dogon, the Zulu, the Maasai. I don't the Berbers. I don't the freaking African Americans. I don't care. You have to understand all these different aspects to help you understand what you're reading. What is it saying? What is the evidence actually implying? Is it a snapshot or is it a bigger picture here? It helps us with that. This is the issue. You did a whole show and you projected, took a couple of shots, cracked some jokes, talked your shit. So I'm taking a couple of shots, cracking some jokes, and talking my shit. But I'm also being factual as fuck because you didn't deal with the presentation. 3 hours worth. And then my boy Brendan, I heard you got up there and try to sit here and switcheroo the video and try to say that they weren't talking about this, that, or the third. Well, did you know, brother Brendan, that in the same video that you said wasn't dealing with what Chavis was implying, did you know that they wore masks that had the Nomo on it, a representation of Nomo, which speaks to their higher deity? What does the higher deity Nomo descend from? The damn brightest star in the sky? That is a reverence and a great aspect of them telling you what the hell they doing in the ritual. But see, we didn't tell you that on the show because we smelled you coming. No disrespectful smell. Not saying that you was funky or anything like that, but we knew that you was trying to come, a little nice, but you wanted to play the game a little bit. Yeah, focus on your masters because we support you in that. And we liked it. You know what I'm saying? Chavis even played with you a little bit and said, well,
Yeah.
you was trying to box me in on something, all of that. So we knew the little games that you was playing.
You seen that a mile away, he gave himself away. It wasn't nothing wrong with it, but you're not gonna get us or nothing like that because we don't even speak like that, man. We not trying to. We just giving people the information, man. Telling them what it is and explaining what it. If somebody said it ain't something, trying to see if we can demonstrate that.
So the issue that I had, right, was that I saw the level of frustration that was building up in Brother Chavis because he was clearly trying to be genuine enough to help educate a bunch of people who are still working out their pseudoisms on a live stream and have yet to do the due diligence, and only to say we spent about 30 minutes on it. You can't spend 30 minutes on the Dogon, bro. 30 minutes on a Dogon is not going to help you extract the questions that Chavis answered in his presentation.
It took me way longer than 30 minutes.
Exactly. You need to know where to go to listen. You need to. Wujawu been telling y'all this since he been teaching Metal Nature, that the DNA to culture is in their language. So if you're going to study a people, you need to understand their language. You got to go in there and you have to extract it. Because when you refer back to cultural context, and you don't have the insight to understand what they were saying, then you make a boo-boo. You know, the same boo-boo that dear brother Sheffrin made when he was like, Potolo don't even mean small star.
It means small seed.
It means small seed. I don't know what they talking about, man. It don't mean
Nobody asked him, hey man, where you get that from? Who told you that? Nobody said that. You notice that?
They never source up. It's always projection. But then I seen a screenshot that says the whole show full of sources.
Selected sources.
My nigga.
Niggas that discover minerals and shit.
My nigga. They ain't got no source. They got Google. They ain't got no books. They ain't got time.
They said they ready for 30 minutes. Ujao would be calling that microwave information.
Oh, no, don't worry. He does. I ain't no would have. It's microwaved at its finest. And it's pathetic because I'm thinking, maybe the chat is thinking that, you know, the lead, right? The leader over there, the first person to speak over there, right? Put together a group, right? Under the assertion to deal with racism, white supremacy, Eurocentric scholarship, and to clean up the rest of the mess. That was what was told to us and everybody on every single show, what the Voltron was formed for. So you would only think that if I'm in a room and I'm not the smartest person in the room and I'm around all of these people and we banging out, and we critiquing each other and we dealing with sources and we're demonstrating proper research methodology, that I would carry that wherever I go, no matter what. But what they used you, Tavis, and that's what bothers me. They used you. What did they? Let me tell you what I mean by they used you. They used you for a view from you.
I agree.
They used you for a view from you. Listen to me, man. Listen, man. If I was a preacher, if I was a preacher, I would have got a hallelujah in this motherfucker.
Kofi would be proud
like that. What do you say?
That Kofi would be proud right now.
Yeah, he would be proud. He would be pumping his chest right now. Hallelujah. Amen, Sean. My thing is this, is that, all right, so they used you from a view from you so that they can get the content that's necessarily needed because they all have the B side of the argument. None of them have argued for the Dogon having any type of knowledge. They all assumed, because if Unc says so, they all say so on this. Yeah, I can't rock with that either. What are they saying over there? I'm confused. How many times has Sheffrin said he was confused?
I don't know.
I made it very clear on the Mossy Warrior clan channel what my position was regarding the Dogon. I was very clear. But Sheffrin said that he was still confused. They all said that they were still confused. The problem is they talk shit about reading, and that's where it lies. They don't want to read. It's the truth.
Well, they struggle with comprehending what they read. That's what I'm getting. Because a dude
that's
just
another. Listen, bro.
Solo was used for everything.
Get them to read first.
He read it to everybody. He read it something to everybody and then said Patolo was used for everything.
Get them to read first. They have to go beyond. They have to go beyond the microwave Somebody unplug the microwave and get back to the stove.
They gonna fix noodles on the stove though.
They put their
So
noodles
it's
in the
gonna be the
microwave.
same shit. Yeah, they gonna put noodles on the stove. It's gonna be the same shit. We already in 30 minutes. Now let's talk about it.
Yeah, that's what seems to go over there, you know. Yeah. That's what happens in the barbershop. But I'm just saying. The presentation deals with 4 research questions. If Bobby, if you're going to respond, you have to refute the information in his presentation, which would mean you would have had to extract points of contention and deal with those points of contention. And where you agreed, you would have to assert that you agreed. But one of these claims come from your side, if not both, all of them. They come from your side. So you mean to tell me that Chavis took the time out to extract a claim that came from your side to deal with it in his presentation? Because it was Sheffrin that said Grill influenced their understanding of a star system.
I'm doing niggas homework. I'm not gonna lie. I really out here doing it. I feel like it when I'm doing it, but I learn shit at the same time. It's for me, but it's really I'm doing niggas homework for them, and then I'm saying then I don't get no appreciation, man. You know what I'm saying? Dab me up, pound. You know what I'm saying? Give me a pound. You know what I'm saying? I did that for you. Give me a shout out or something. You know what I'm saying?
So I wanna apologize to the ancestors, because that's not how a dialogue is supposed to go. If we're going to advance scholarship on the subject matter, right, then we have to do this thing properly. Now, I understand that those brothers are not going to go out of their way to do things that we do, read at the level or pace that we read, or dig up or extract the sources that we're going to dig up and extract. We had to read both sides of the argument. We had to read Grill and we had to read Van Beek. And then we had to read Grill's daughter. And then we had to go get independent researchers. So what if it was in French? Google Translator. We had to go get that. Right? We had to go full circle. We didn't come here half cocked. I told y'all our fallacies was on erect on this information. We came here with the Jordan fist. And that's why I told dear brother Sheffrin that I can bet a big bag on him not being able to prove the doggone wrong. I know your limitations. So you couldn't entice me with a big bag. I would have went all the way out of my way. I ain't had nothing to lose. I understand y'all might not have it, and that's cool. No disrespect. We all working. We all investing and trying to do our things. So I ain't mad at you for that. But if you really stood on a scholarship, like you stuck your chest out there in that chat and you was talking crazy all them times, why you ain't come for the big bag? We dealt with your claims, bro. You didn't know what a star system was. You didn't think they had knowledge of a star system. That was your claims. You said the Grill influenced their understanding of a star system. We had to wipe you all the way out of there. And then we had to let the audience know that Van Beek wasn't even in the cliffs. Van Beek was in the plateau. He was in an adjacent village in the lowlands. He wasn't in the cliffs. He was around a whole nother group of people. Where Grill was at, there was over 1,000 some people in their village. He was over there in a village with like 300 or 400 people. And then he had somebody who really didn't even have any knowledge. And he didn't interview none of the people that Grill interviewed. He was handicapped in his research. And none of them boys on that side wanted to tell y'all the truth. What up, Mo? So what I'm trying to tell everybody is that's not how you do things. It's not. I'm finna show y'all how to do something. Man, I'm finna show y'all how to do something. Live on the freaking air. Keynote. Watch this. Just watch my screen. Stay with me. All right. So let me just click on something real quick. Let me see if it'll load up for us. And we're going to get into it. All righty. So it did. Okay. So this presentation was called Misunderstanding Myocarditis by Me. Gave you an outline. Gave you introduction. Gave you my research questions. As you can see, 4 research questions. I give you my hypothesis, definitions, and then I go out and I make my argument using my sources. In every slide, you'll see the source material at the bottom, all the way down. And then we deal with myocarditis, and then I give you some information, right? I give you the information there. That's not it. That's not it. And then I give you the sources. I give you my conclusion, right? You get all of that, right? Everybody know where I'm going with this? You should know where I'm going with this by now, right? Let's go somewhere else. Okay, scroll all the way up. Another presentation. Y'all remember this? The curious case of Daniel Stockton's and Jetty's anecdotal claims of SARS-CoV-2 treatment? Yeah, you really like that one, Bobby. I was banging on your boy. Here you go right here. Same thing. So, what should have happened from Bobby, right? When he came out? He should have already had Chavis lined up. I'm finna show you. I ain't gonna go to pass the baton. I'm finna show you. Let's see if I can open up some different ones real quick. Let me get in here real quick. Let me be funny because they say I ain't got no personality. So let me be funny right quick and entertaining and educational at the same time. So I don't care who it offends, but let me find this joker. Y'all see this stuff. And these ain't even all my presentations. They're on a whole nother laptop. What this dude at? It's gonna be funny. Rebuttal the Kai. Y'all seen me when I dealt with that lady, yo. Man, where is that one, man? I need that one. Nah, that ain't it. Nope. Y'all better be glad I can't find it right now. Did I skip it? You know what I'm looking for. Y'all gotta know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something with this dude name in it. The one Garfield arguing with. And I forgot the way I titled it because I titled it a little bit different. But I want to show what I'm getting at and what I'm trying to show everybody is let me go to cloud. What I'm trying to show everybody is the fact that when you're dealing with a response or you're trying to deal with something on this level, you have to go and even when I responded to Wujawu, here's something that I did in a response to Wujawu. Like, I mean, where's this thing at, man? I gotta find this one. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna come back to it. I ain't gonna let y'all view it. But my point is your research methodology is off. Therefore, it's a problem for everybody. Speak real quick, y'all. Let me pull this up. Uh-oh. Mo said the name. Where you at, Chave?
Yeah. What you talking about? About your car?
Nah, man, I won't go ahead and go and tell me what made, first of all, what made you go over there first?
Oh,
Secondly, what did you
uh,
what did you get out of
yeah.
that exchange?
Well, firstly, I got to hit the link from Unc because I told him, man, hit
I
me
scrolled past it
when
three
y'all
times. It
start
was in
talking
my
about
face.
Potolo because that's what I did my presentation on. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all was doing a whole lot of talking and not. He's like, man, I got a whole bunch. I was like, yeah, but they not dealing with the Dogon, the sources that you put in there, and you got one Harvard study that it's not even much talking about what the dude is trying to present. You know what I'm saying? And he hit the link, stop running. Okay, I'm like, but I ain't see the link in the chat. So I was like, I don't see no. I ain't say I didn't see it, but I'm just like instead of telling them like you tripping, bro. Then I look at the show and like the real Dogon work. What's that mean? That kind of sound kind of funny. You trying to say the white folks is the real Dogon because they use science to recognize a star? Talking about wow, you stuck in the mud, bro. Tried to help you. They would hit the link though. Like, when I hit the link,
He told you that you were stuck in the mud.
yeah, I was stuck in the mud. And he was
Mm.
trying to help me,
I
but
got the presentation right here. I just scrolled past the name because it says African origins.
I don't know, man.
It's in my cloud, so I gotta wait on it to download. And I
Yeah,
probably got a bunch of stuff going on right now.
but as far as what I got
Hey,
from it is,
Susek, you get them books? My bad. I ain't mean to break the bill.
Yeah, yeah. I got it.
All right, all right. Nah. I ain't dealing with no mummies. Sean, you being yes, I'm being nice. I'm being nice. I ain't said nothing. I'm being nice. No mean. I
well,
just
no,
have I just think that they're messing with Chavis in a sense. You know what I mean? Like antagonizing him as a man. Oh, you gotta have permission to do this, or you gotta have permission to
yeah.
do that. That's not called for. Like, who's doing that? That's the level of disrespect. And then you the same person talking about we was just with each other in Atlanta and there wasn't no this or that. You wasn't even with us when we was sitting down eating, bro. We went to go sit down and eat. Where was you at? We could have had a beautiful conversation and got even further right there. We was all at the table together.
Could have even went to Magic City, man. I told him, you know what I'm saying? Could have went through big racks. I wasn't gonna spend them. I was gonna watch them. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be up in there.
It's the craziness. The problem is this: you're not dealing with the subject matter properly. So, if the research questions was laid out by Chavis in his presentation, and he gathered most of that stuff from y'all, what the hell is really the problem? The burden of proof was on. Listen, the burden of proof was on Sheffrin the moment that he said the grill taught them this.
That's crazy.
All the Dogon, listen, all the Dogon stuff is out the window. At that point, the minute that y'all argued that this man, this white boy, asserted these things on the Dogon, and they couldn't have done this for themselves, the burden of proof was on y'all. There was no argument for us to ever have. But we know y'all. Y'all are never going to demonstrate. Demonstration beats conversation, but all y'all want to do is talk, and then you want to talk using the same three sources.
Doing no real work. No real work. All quick pop in the microwave. Beep.
Yeah, Mo, we need to go to the museum. We need to go back to New York and go to the museum with Reggie so we can listen to the mummies too. I want to hear the mummies talk. But that's another subject. The problem that we have here is this justification of imposing your ignorance on everybody else. Now, I don't know how many people was actually tuned into this bull jump. I wasn't. So I can't say or speak to every exact thing that transpired tonight. That's why I said y'all could speak to that because y'all actually was there and y'all actually heard stuff. I didn't. And it's taking this thing a while to load because it's got videos in it. And it's a really big file. I don't know what made me store this in my cloud and not just leave it on my laptop. That's beyond me. I'm ignorant for that. But the truth of the matter is just that. Like, where y'all at with this stuff? And why are we at this level? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing to try to move the conversation forward so people could actually learn? I mean, we keep making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. And then everybody else. So you want us to keep letting y'all make mistakes so we can go behind y'all and clean it up. We don't build our content off of y'all F-ups. Sorry. We control our own narrative over here. We in our own lane and we advancing scholarship at our pace. We ain't doing it the way y'all want us to. Y'all want the safe space. Y'all want to be able to talk your bull junk, say what you want to say, and then if you're wrong about something, well, they'll come behind us and correct it if we wrong about it.
That's weak. That's lame too on the hood.
That's laziness, bro. Kill the laziness.
That's what they want to do, though. I mean, they say that's not what they do. You know, I can't hold them to research team expectations and standards and criteria and whatnot. That's not what they is. They pseudo killers. I guess a pseudo killer don't do proper research and have proper methodology and make you like question if you want to be one of them joints. I mean, I would personally. You know what I'm saying? I got a pseudo killer shirt. I'll be looking at it funny when no, I'm the real pseudo. I got to convince myself I'm the real one. You know what I'm saying?
Mo said, "What's the well, Mo? You have Bobby arguing that the Dogon couldn't have saw or mapped the stars. They couldn't have saw something that they said they never saw. So they couldn't have had any understanding of a companion star, not without a telescope or anything like that. That's why he brought the telescope out, because he's stuck on seeing. He's not about advancing. He's not there. This is where listen, when I tell you I know somebody, I know somebody. I know when they're handicapped. So when I talked to you, Chavis, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and I asked you specifically, and you told me that he knew the argument, I told you that he didn't.
Yeah.
You kept saying, nah, kid. You kept on saying, nah, kid. You know what I'm saying? He telling me he reading both sides of the argument. Well, what's the argument? It was never laid out. I'm going by what you telling me. Because remember, at this time, I wasn't talking to him. Right. I hadn't talked to him since he played that game with me where he said he was going to call me on the phone after the Congo stuff, and he never did. No, I'm lying. I talked to him after that. Yep, I did, because we did Atlanta after that. But the problem is, man, Kofi just gonna have to be mad at me, man. I'm sorry. I like to crack jokes, have fun too. I ain't got no personality. My personality is shot. I'm dull. Okay, all right. You right. You right. My personality whack, dull as hell. Let me find it.
Dripless, sauceless, man. Sauceless out here, man. You ain't got no drip, man. You got to instill some OE in you, man.
Well, I don't know nothing about all that, but I do know this. Shout out to my brother, man, over there at the barber shop. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, like, share, and subscribe to my brother over there at the barber shop, man.
Channel too. He good to his own channel, man.
Go over there and subscribe to the barber shop show with brother Sheffrin L, man. He gonna teach you how to fuck up history. You know what I'm saying? Pseudo killer style. Pseudo killer style. The barbershop show with Sheffrin L. How to fuck up history. The barbershop style. You know what I'm saying? For real.
You gotta spell pseudo like him though. You gotta spell it pseudo like how you spell it.
I gotta spell it Suedo. P-E. Okay, like they all spell it over there. Okay.
You know, but that, you know, that's how that's how
I got you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to go cop Concrete Core's book, Reading Body Language.
Okay.
Reading Body Language by Concrete Core. Pseudo killer.
That's
pseudo
killer. Same tree right there. They published that.
Yeah, we doing a publishing. Remember, y'all, he said he could read body language. So he dropped a book out. He sourced up Body Language Reading, the complete guide for beginners to analyze the people's body language by Concrete Core. Yeah, no matter how pseudo it is, look, no matter how pseudo it is, he said he could do it.
Lied to me, man. He said he wasn't about right, man. He built bridges, man. He took the time out.
Right. He built bridges. All right. He building bridges with this book. You know what I'm saying? Just a little humor in there. Just a little humor. Just a little humor in there.
Just they got tapes. They got tapes and they shoot boys with missiles and stuff.
Yeah. Just to lighten the mood up a little bit. You know, because I ain't got no personality or sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? I'm too serious at times. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Sheffrin saw the barbershop. I sent it to him first. I sent it to him. I did. I sent it to him and he bust out laughing. I did. I sent it to him and he bust out laughing. He's supposed to, because the intention was not to be disrespectful or anything like that. It was to do just that, serve that purpose. That purpose was to make him laugh, and he laughed off of it. And I don't know why my icon ain't showing.
Man, he need to go ahead and make him a channel, man, and take that brand and do that, man. You know what I'm saying? So
nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing.
Nobody will mess with him. I might tune in because I don't have to have no high expectations, no type of methodology. I could just come in and listen to the Berber talk. You know what I'm saying? Man,
Berber talk.
That might be interesting, man. You know, they talk about everything up in there, man.
Hey, for real.
Goddamn, read. 30 minutes. That's all it takes.
30 minutes, huh?
Got a whole argument.
It's that toaster.
Hey, you know, because Sheffrin love R&B, right? You know, Chef, he love R&B, right?
I've seen that boy, man.
So listen, when Kels dropped that, Your Body's Calling Me, you know what I'm saying? And Sheffrin was playing that Joker. Concrete heard that thing and was like, bruh, I know exactly what the body is saying. When he says the body is calling me, I know exactly. Because I be reading body language. I know when it's calling me. I can see it.
You read the book.
I can see it. It's a chapter in there. It's a chapter in there called Your Body's Calling Me.
Sourced up. That boy sourced up. Citations proper in there, man.
R. Kelly is the source.
Questionable source.
Got Kels on that.
None of them have extracted a single claim from the Dogon. I tried to invite them into properly understanding how to extract claims and review the claims and then deal with the claims, but they don't even know. They still don't know to this day. So whatever position that they want to impose on the Dogon is actually a fallacy because they never claimed to have seen something that was invisible to the eye.
just based on the
Mo.
whole.
So you talking to me or Chavis? Because Chavis's presentation is on this channel. It's actually the second video on this channel behind this live stream that we're doing right now. Everything else is gonna be on the Masi. Any comedic stuff that's on Signs with Sean.
Got like 3. You got a presentation on the Dogon. I did one on like got the
My
coast.
goal, my
Got
goal
the
though, we had the same goal, but two different aspects. My goal was to help people understand cultural astronomy, right? And more. My using the Dogon and using other African ethnicities to help them get to a level of how to actually really review and look at history. You see what I'm saying? So when you was like, you know what, man, I'm finna do this Dogon stuff. That's why I piled on your information, because it was information I wasn't gonna use. So I was like, I'm just gonna pile on your information and let you deal with it. It ain't make no sense you doing one and me doing one too.
Right.
Like just pile on your stuff. And then that's why I came with that other piece of information and then that other stuff. And I was throwing at you like, see, look at this. Make sure that you talk about the social order. So
Right.
instead of you using that one source that was talking about the social order, you went to the other source that gave you, all of that. So when you said I want to use all of that, and I was like, golly, you know what I'm saying? I knew what you was trying to do, but I was like, man, this mud longer than Lisha, which is a street in Nashville, Tennessee that is very long.
Nashville history is fact right there.
Yeah, man.
He always got
one of my true story and moments right there. A moment in Black history.
Well, it had to be like, man.
Did y'all want to see that again?
Context.
Hold on, I'm trying to read the chat.
So when they have conversations without slide, I get lost on the words. Too many people talking. Hey, I agree. Well, I try to be quiet, but then they be saying crazy stuff. Like he kept on saying, well, they said they saw. I got to keep on stopping. I got off. I was like, bro, you're right. Because he's going to keep on saying they saw something. And I already told you they didn't say it. They said they didn't see it. Sean said they didn't see it. So I don't know who we arguing with that saying that they saw anything. Why we talking about telescopes and what's the star made out of? And I don't know how we got there. You know what I'm saying? They just said they know about it.
Black Panther told you on a live stream that he don't listen.
He said
he don't listen. Black Panther told you on the live stream that he don't listen.
I've been on the phone and I had to repeat it over and over again. Hey, and I had to tell him,
not listening.
I didn't say that.
Listening.
I didn't say what you just said that you think I'm saying. I didn't say that. I didn't tell him that. He's
not listening. That's problem number one. That he's not listening. So he doesn't know what you're actually saying. And then even when he shuts up and then lets you say what you're saying, he's still gonna get it wrong because he ain't hearing you.
So, yeah, I can get
and then you have a multitude of problems. You have a multitude of problems because you can't get past one thing or another. So nobody said the Dogon saw the star. The Dogon never claimed to have seen Sirius B. They said it is invisible to the eye. It is invisible to the naked eye. It is as small as a grain that they have that's known as Po. It's a really, 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 really small grain. You can't really, 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 really see it like that. It's real, real small. So they're saying that this star is real, 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 real small. And you can't see it with the naked eye.
You know who deal with seeds? Farmers. You know what I'm saying? Why are they equating farming to start? I don't like, come on, man. Like, it's not that hard to fathom. And it's like, it's not a whole full-fledged scientific explanation of it. It's just they got a name for it. You can't say that if they don't have nothing, and I'm saying, okay, what does this word mean? And then you can't tell me. Like, I don't understand when we start doing that. You steady mention, and then you got a person misrepresent the whole Potolo and say Potolo is used for everything when the thing that they read, they didn't even say that. And just based on the word Tolo meaning star, I mean, there's different there's different terms for different stars. So that's what they doing. They mapping the stars. I don't understand why that's hard for people that's been doing that shit for so long. How is that difficult for them to do? Why Chef will feel like they can't do that or can't feel like they can't?
Because they're African. They're primitive. They can't do shit.
That's it. That's it. I keep on forgetting that part.
The root of the problem is Africans can't do shit. That's why they argued against Egypt so hard. That's why they argue against any other ethnicity on the continent. They are anti that, and then turn around and will tell you, then they want to say that we anti-African. Every argument, every position in the argument you take is against something Africans have done. Every single argument. These long, drawn out, weak conversations all stem from your Berber love affair and British romanticism. And none of y'all, all of y'all that's in the chat, even the people that hopped on and hopped back off, all of y'all have never asked him to source up for that slave market claim he made against Nzinga, or his assertions that he made on the Dogon, and I'm pretty sure he got some in there on the Congo as well. Everywhere we go, he gonna have an assertion. Deliberately. None of y'all have said, Sheffrin, where your source on this? But y'all will allow them to bully, ambush, scholarship someone on their platform, right? And try to get them to say some stuff that they ain't saying or tell them to source up. All the while, they never have to source up. The only one that really do all the sourcing up is CK, and she's excluded from this conversation. Has nothing, absolutely zero zilch to do with this conversation. Straight like it. Nothing. Even if she responds, it has nothing to do with her.
I just keep on being tripped out how them boys misrepresent stuff that they be reading right there in front of them, and like and then I get on there, I tell you, nah, bro, I don't see how you said that. I don't see how you got that. You don't? I don't see how you, because it don't say that, bro. Like, where are you getting that
from?
What
was the scientist? Who was the source from the scientist that was supposed to? What was the name of the show again? What they call the name of the show?
Which one?
What was the name? Who got the name to the show?
The one that they did was
yeah. What's the name? Give me the name.
The real Dogon. It said the real Dogon something.
The real Dogon what?
Let me look at what I screenshot. I said, hey, man.
We need that name. It is very important that we have the name of this. I just can't believe that they did you like that. You know what I'm saying? They were, and to waste those people time, like people tuned in to actually.
Dogon.
What's other? The other.
Go ahead. You heard me?
Go ahead. Do it again.
It's the real Dogon as told by science, and we never, in parentheses, and we never had to get out the tank.
All right. So they never had to get out the tank. So cool. They didn't have to get out the tank. So who were the scientists that they used to refute your presentation. And everybody in the chat, y'all let them get away with that because they didn't deal with a single piece of evidence that was presented by Chavis. Man, I got not one.
They pulled up the NASA thing. That's what he was reading from. That he did that because he knew I was on there. Like it was like it said something that I was gonna be like, oh, you got me there. I don't know, man.
No. That source does not pull the source up.
That one?
Yeah, pull their source up.
Hold on.
Or you can put it in the chat and I can pull it up.
I'll put it in here. Let me find that shit.
What's Sutek at, man? You ain't got Sutek. That blunt ain't that long, bro. That blunt ain't that long, bro. Blunt ain't that long.
Let me share my screen.
Sweet like her dad if you just chocolate.
Let me share my screen, kid.
Do your thing, man. Show too.
Where I just had this shit. It was not at the, this is the what's called. I was in here. I just clicked it. I just had that shit. I clicked it and everything. That's a different one. This is the what's called where he said we didn't
Unshare your screen. If you ain't got it, I need you to go get. No. We don't need that. I need you to go get the NASA source from them. It ain't gonna be in our stuff. It ain't gonna be in your stuff.
I put it in the what's called. I just had it on the screen. It shit came off.
Yeah, because it was giving me an error too when I click on it. But I had to go back in my search history and pull. Hold up, I'll try it. Let me just go back in my search history. I ain't want to do all that. Let me go back. What I gotta go back to? Just a bunch of sources. Oh, don't forget, y'all. I still got the thing for y'all. I'm gonna pull it up. It's extracted from my cloud. I got y'all on that. You ain't gotta worry about that. Oh, I got some stuff. I'm surprised Tyson ain't as loud as before. Usually, I mean, cause he knocked out.
I'm gonna come in on my phone and then I'm gonna put the hell in there.
You got it? Cause I'm looking.
I'm gonna come in on my phone and then
That's fine. You gonna get to it for me because you know I got all these damn searches.
I got it copied already.
Let's put in the chat. Which one of these pros you gonna use? You're on mute, bro.
I put it in the what's called in the comment in the private chat.
Look, I got it. All right, so and then I'm gonna get into our treat before I go to sleep on y'all. All right, full screen shouting. So here go their source, right? Now, it's only 3 pages. Okay. Now it's weird, okay? It's weird looking.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it. It's
I
just
can't
not.
zoom in no further than this. But listen to the source. This is a correspondence. Gentlemen, Mr. Robert Temple's recent letter to your magazine has no doubt aroused some interest among your readers. This is the correspondence. His report of astronomical knowledge possessed an element of their tradition by the Dogon is what is now the Republic of Mali is, to say the least, astounding. So astounding, in fact, that it would certainly be advisable to examine the original ethnographic materials, reporting it before proceeding to speculate about the origins of these beliefs. They continue. The matter of the companion star to Sirius is perhaps the most intriguing. The Dogon reportedly know that a star that they call Potolo, which is invisible to the naked eye, exists, that it moves in an elliptical orbit around Sirius, that it is small and dense, and that it is a period in 50 years. All of these points are indeed reported by Grill and Dieterlen, the two ethnographers who have done the most work among the Dogon. Then it says, this information is, however, by no means ambiguous. It should be noted, first of all, that the Dogon cosmological system, as reported by
Unambiguous.
Grill, huh?
I just want to make that point. It
Unambiguous.
says unambiguous, not ambiguous.
Yeah.
Unambiguous.
Yeah, I thought you knew that. Yeah, unambiguous. You can look that word up because I doubt that they read that. It should be noted, first of all, that the Dogon is a cosmological system as reported by Grill. Twins and twinnies are very important, as in many other cultures in West Africa. Interestingly enough, the rather complex Dogon linguistic system, the star Potolo, and the seed of the same name are identified not only with each other, but also with a large number of symbolic and physical objects, including the type of the womb thought by the Dogon to produce twins. Stop. Here is Sheffrin's error. Where y'all think Sheffrin error is? Because this is who he's regurgitating when he was trying to have that conversation with me and he wanted to get into all the other aspects of certain things. Potolo, he says, the star Potolo and the seed of the same name. There's no seed. What is the name of the seed? The name of the seed is Po,
Yeah,
not Potolo. It's
Tolo
Po.
means star. Like
Tolo means star.
in the dictionary.
Po means seed. So here's the error in this correspondence, that when you get people who spend 30 minutes on something, they can't extract that. And it's not a shot. It's not disrespectful. It is what it is, because when I did this same thing with him among the African astronomy book, he made the same assertions talking about this whole paragraph is trash. Then when you slow him down and show, no, chef, this is not the Dogon saying this. This is modern science saying this. Look, go back to the beginning when they lead you into the conversation. They're speaking. They tell you what the Dogon claim, and then they tell you what science states. You know, the same thing that I did with the Congo when I showed you what the Congo teach and then what modern science says. They did that in the damn book. That was the purpose of the book, is to challenge that thought process and align it with modern science. You know, that same thing that Bobby said that we shouldn't be doing, but astronomers are actually doing it. And then he tried to discount them until he seen the video that I played that showed that the Dogon didn't do this or that, or where he didn't necessarily say that, but he didn't answer the question. It's deeper than rap at this point. Says this might, of course, be because the Dogon, knowing Sirius to have a companion star, choose this system for many important symbolic and cosmological functions reported to be attributed to it. on the basis of ritual importance of twinness. See, this whole argument here is about twinness. But when you go down, it goes back to temple. He says, both of these beliefs are reported to be held by the Dogon. They are, in fact, what prompts Temple to say that the Dogon knows Sirius B to be a white dwarf. As Temple points out, it would rather be remarkable were Sirius the only star assigned to companion by the Dogon mythology. In a certain sense, however, it isn't. In La Renard Pele, their most complete work,
That's the word, Pale Fox.
Their most complete work on the Dogon cosmology, Grill and Dieterlen mentioned the Polaris, Du Dogatolo, is considered as the mote, the double of the system, a system of constellation, also ceremonially important to the Dogon. Ceremonially. See?
Stop. So wait, right here, you see Du Daga Tolo. That's a whole separate star. That's not called Potolo. So they're not calling all the stars Potolo. Tolo means star. The other is that there's a meaning for that. You just have to look it up. You have to go look up the prefix to do. Look up the word. It's the work you got to do. So just insert that.
It tells you. It
He
tells you right
read
here.
this,
A
matter of fact,
system. No. Listen, we don't care if they read it. We know what they were doing. The ambush scholarship shit. A system of constellations, also ceremonially important to the Dogon, which it summarizes. This was seen to support our suggestions that the symbolic importance of twins and twinness is such that any ritually important star of constellation of stars must be assigned a double.
So what they did there was they tried. What Ankh did was he inserted. Well, the sun is up there, and I didn't see shit right here talking about no sun right here. You know what I'm saying? With some kind of way, we start talking about the sun and how the sun must have a twin too, and the moon. We not talking about none of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even in that, and we could look into that. We might find that they may do. You look crazy there, but ain't none of this talking about no sun. But that was his way of discounting it.
Let's continue.
Or I guess he put, because I ain't see it nowhere in there talking about no sun.
Look,
if that's the case,
watch this. The data on the Dogon's knowledge of the shape and the period of the orbit of Sirius B are rather confused. As mentioned above, Temple. Listen to who's making the claim. Temple claims that the Dogon know the period of Sirius B to be 50 years. Temple claims, not the Dogon, not Grill, not Dieterlen, Temple. What is the problem here, ladies and gentlemen? If you're not paying attention, this correspondence from the observatory is extracting who's making the claim.
they
Temple
got that
is claiming that they saw something. Dieterlen and Grill never said that they saw anything. They said that they knew of something that was unseen to the eye.
And they was confused as fuck too. Just to be completely honest, if you read that, they're like, man, we don't know how these dudes is. I can't explain it. But they went in.
That in the letter. If you're reading everything that we're reading, they're telling you.
And we brought that to the people. Yeah, we told them if you sat through the little 2 hour, you would got that. I know it may have been a little difficult, but it's in there. You can go back, do pieces however you want to do. But it's in there. I ain't make nothing up.
Let's continue. It says, what Grill and the Dogon know the period of Sirius B to be 50 years. What Grill and Dieterlen reported is that the orbit's period is counted twice. That it is as, next page, 100 years in order to recall the fundamental principles of twinness. even if we accept this as a meaning of the temple's claim, of what temple claims, not the Dogon, temple. So really, I don't have to read no more, because what's happening is temple is the assertion here, not Grill, not Dieterlin, not the Dogon, goddamn temple. So let's continue. And I told you that. I told y'all in the chat. I said, do not let him use temple to make any assertions on the Dogon. And what happens? He goes use a correspondence that's Temperlin making the claims. And and of course, whoever read this was not clear to the people. Now, here we go. The
But he
ritual
is being
calendar.
clear. He telling you what temple claim, and he's making a distinction to what he found,
No.
what they
So the
reported.
dude on the other channel told you this.
Oh yeah. They not. No, they not. You're right. I thought you was talking about the
Okay,
dude.
was there anyone on the other channel that told you that the claims are coming from Temple? Yes or no?
Yeah, they were saying that.
Did
But
they
really they
say
was
that
mixing them
Temple?
both. They was mixing them
They were
both.
saying both. Okay,
I was
but the
like, nah, you ain't
correspondence.
read this nigga, bro. You ain't, they tried to say Corey tried to go into how the Namo, and he needed to get an understanding because no, he's saying that basically like
You can't get an
Namo told him.
understanding on a topic on a live stream right there on a live stream. You
No, you
can't
gotta
do
read the book.
that.
You gotta read the book. You gotta read the work. That's how I did. And then I had to read the work that's beating it up, then read the work that's independent, then just go look in the dictionary, then read the art book just to see what everything means. So I mean it's that took
So
longer than 20 minutes.
let's get this Potolo
Get it
straight.
out. Let's get it.
The ritual calendar of the Dogon is reportedly based on the period of Potolo. However, this ritual calendar runs on a 60-year cycle. That is going to be what it is, because when they do the ritual celebration, it is based on what? A 60-year cycle and not a 50-year cycle, which is what Temple claimed. The 60-year cycle is what we brought to you in the presentation, because we stated in the presentation when the Sigu ritual is done. However, how this fits in a 50-year period by no means is clear. Furthermore, Grill and others reported several timekeeping mechanisms totally independent of any stars other than the sun, which are used to keep track of the ritual cycle. The matter of the Dogon knowing Sirius B's orbit to be elliptical appears to have even less of a foundation. Let's see why they say this. The only direct quotation of the Dogon source Grill and Dieterlin provide on this matter is part of a song which contains a play on words, association pole, Sirius companion star, with the word pole meaning straight or vertical. See, this again is where the problems come in, is these assertions, which Grill translates first literally as the path of the mask is straight. The path goes straight, and then taking into account the word play. Notice it also can be translated as the path of the mask or the path that goes. Now it says this reference to the mask have to do with the ritual dances of the Dogon.
Yeah, on the
Do y'all?
cool that that
Mhm.
that that the independent study dealt with this part right there. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? So
Now,
that's the
it
whole
says the
secret
above
language.
quote is interpreted by Grill and Dieterlin as a meeting that the plane on the orbit of Potolo is thought to be perpendicular to the horizon. This interpretation rests on the association noted above between the star and the star pole, and the word pole, vertical. First of all, what does the word pole mean? What
Pole
does the word tolo means?
star. So it's,
Polo deals with star, not pole. There is the problem. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, watch this. This is where the problems come in at. It says, note that the quote says nothing of an elliptical path. The diagram mentioned by Temple, which clearly shows an elliptical orbit, might indeed be a fairly convincing exhibit, in spite of the fact that the Dogon symbol for Potolo is not only on a point of the orbit, nor any nearer to it than several other mystifying objects in this diagram or the Sirius system. If one failed to notice another Dogon diagram showing the ideal structure of the village, which is key, you need to notice, where the diagram is also enclosed in a rough ellipse or oval that doesn't correspond to any of the observable objects or phenomena. This oval represents the greater placenta from which have emerged in the course of time all space and living things and everything in the world. We feel justified in concluding that the ovals represent in both diagrams not orbits, but the boundary of which is being depicted. I don't know how you come to that, but that's fine. Finally, we would like to point out that the unwary reader might, on reading Grill and Dieterlen, come away with the impression that the Dogon, living in a remote part of Africa, had little or no contact with European culture prior to the field work carried out in the 1940s. I'm going to read that again. One would conclude an unwary reader might, on reading Grill and Dieterlen, come away with the impression that the Dogon living in a remote part of Africa had little or no contact with European culture prior to the field work. This is simply not the case. So let's see what they say. There have been French schools, which include geography and national history in their curricula in the area since 1907. You see, here goes another era. This assertion here in 1907. Them Dogon been there since the 12th century AD. They've been having these things way before 1907. So
Bro,
there
they have
also
a
is
whole ritual, a whole Siggy ritual that we can't even tell you when it started, bro. Because they'll tell you it's been from the beginning. That's what they gonna say. They got a whole ritual based on the movement of a star, man. So I don't understand. Right, this is basically asserting that they couldn't have learned any of this stuff. They had to get it from either these French dudes or Islam. That's what that's.
and here's the assertion. There are also Islamic schools and those Dogons who wish to pursue higher technical studies in French systems and have done so nearby towns. Dogon culture has also shown itself to be very resilient in its, let me continue, in its response to acculturation. It is quite successful and completely incorporated aspects of Islamic ritual and culture of its own cultural structure. It may well have incorporated more than that. No culture exists in a vacuum, and most certainly not the Dogon culture. The researchers who find this clear evidence of astronomical knowledge of short temple claims for the listen, not Dieterlen, not Grill, not the Dogon. Temple claims for the Dogon might do well in seeking to explain it. To consider the most likely source of that knowledge, our own culture, before suggesting mystical sources or going back several thousand years of and really adding it together with the secret of the Great Pyramid and interstellar beacons to the store of knowledge of storybook Egyptians. We are gentlemen, yours faithful, Peter Pesh and Roland Pesh. These are two people who provided these assertions to the Warner and Swazi Observatory. So when we're looking at this, the main source that is used in this argument up and down is the observatory, which is the name of Temple's book. That's where the problems lie. And then the other assertion lies when they rely on the conversations with Ogatamale, right? He is not the only person that Grill interviewed. So again, this is what's important here. This is your source. This is what they used. We didn't even want to put this in the presentation. We had the source. It's in the search history. It's in the search history. But while I'm sharing my screen real quick, Chavers, let me just basically show these people what I'm really referring to, right? When I'm talking about when you're dealing with subject matters, when you're dealing with people's claims and all these other things. So whenever this pulls up for us, everybody, I'm gonna show you what the hell I'm talking about. So no, I don't want to show the entire presentation, although people have saw this before, but I just want to keep it on the screen at a molecular level right here, right? So even right here, right? The African origins of Christianity, exploring the lecture of Jabari Osaze. So of course I got a copyright because I got these videos in here. and I don't want him trying to like, feel some type of way. But anyway, I have an outline here. In the outline, I have broken down his disc from his presentation. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. All of this deals with things that are going on. Modern church leaders, pre-Christian spiritual symbols, uncovering the African origins, Kemetic myth. They don't want to do this to a presentation. They don't want to extract the claims and then deal with the claims. So I provide a hypothesis. Then I give you I don't need to see this right here, but I give you a little quote. Due to time constraints, we're not going to detail each claim line by line. However, we will play the presentation, gather context, and address the claims. So I tried to make this interactive. So I give a little history on Jabari, so you know your author. I even give a quote. Now, I'm giving y'all this quote, and I ain't going to show you all this whole thing, but I'm giving it to you. I want you to discuss and debate these issues. There is no reason why we shouldn't do that. I have no issue with that. So this is Jabari's words. So he shouldn't take no issue or have no problem with me breaking his ish down. So I go on and I provide little clips of Jabari in the chat when Carrier is on the screen talking ish. Yeah. So look, he says, is Carrier saying that we practice Kemetic tradition because it is because it is the original form? That is not even close to true and insulting. And then he says, do you think that I would have a scholar on my platform to critique Garfield without his input? This is when he was crying on Garfield stuff. Then he says, you ask someone to evaluate work without talking to me? I have a great respect for Carrier and read his work, by the way. This is a back and forth, just an inappropriate one. Then he says, asking a question would not be helpful. I haven't even seen the entire critique. So he's going here. And then I have your boy on here in the video clip, right? He does a whole show on Garfield. That's an hour, 14 minutes. Jabari responds to Garfield, and he is very upset. I'm pretty sure many of y'all watch this. I just don't have the video clip on here because I don't watch this Negro's channel, and I ain't dealing with him either. Then I go with points of contention. Sacred symbolisms. I'm telling you. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm showing y'all, right? Without even really just putting y'all through this presentation. I'm showing y'all at the depths of what you got to do to kind of really deal. If you really want to deal with something, that you deal with it. So here's the points of contention. Sacred symbolisms, esoteric, recontextualization, remythicalization, funerary culture based on ancient Kemet, Greenwood Cemetery, that's in Brooklyn. So we take a look at Exhibit A. It's a video. It plays. I'm just not going to play it here because I don't want y'all already tapped into the whole build and deal with that. Then another video, points of contention. And then I run down the points of contention. And then we get to the video, we play the clip, and we deal with it. Points of contention. We play the video, we deal with it. Points of contention. Spit to heal the wound. We play the video, we deal with it. Points of contention. Asar Mary. I extract all of his claims out the whole presentation and show you the points of contention. This is the first presentation that I would put together to be interactive because I wanted everybody to participate in the learning process while I have already extracted out the information. So all you had to do was deal with point for point for point for point for point to knock them on out the box. And I did that. And then I provide you with my conclusion. But you're going to draw your own conclusion by the end of this because I said I'm finna flip the script and I'm going to do something totally different, scholastically different, to make sure that everybody could properly understand what's going on here and can extract and be a part of the learning curve. All of that right here. I'm telling y'all, I haven't done it. I've been sitting on this for like 2 years or so now. because when they was originally going to debate, I had already put all of this together to deal with it. I did already, but nobody wanted to bring it up. Nobody wanted to get into it. Therefore, I never said anything about it, but I have it right here and it's locked and loaded. And one day we're going to go through this. It might not be on this channel, might be on might not be on the Moss, it might be somewhere else. I don't know. But we're going to go through this and we're going to see what the hell Sean got. But if you want it, but if you wanted to really do some work, this is what they would have had to do to Chavis's presentation. And then they would have had to, wherever they have these points of contention, it would have been the highlight of their build today. That was furthest from the case. That wasn't the truth in itself whatsoever. They basically mocked the presentation and from my perspective, and wasted the brother time. And here we are, almost 2 hours in. I should have already been asleep, or I should have been up watching the new Disney show or whatever it is that they got to do with the Marvel series that just dropped. But now I'm on here doing a live stream trying to talk about some of the problems that continue to happen among a group of people who have no research methodology, no respect for research methodology, or adhere to any scientific endeavor, but claim to be science enthusiasts. So, Chavis, do you have anything left for these people, bro? Because, at this point, it's case closed and we can move on, and then you can drop the other bill that you got that's more important than us doing a repeat show or dealing with stupidity.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just like you said, if there's any
Moon Knight,
anybody saying that they destroyed something or debunk anything, they need to do what Sean just said.
They're a damn liar.
Because they didn't do that. That is what I got. They did they really did what I thought they was gonna do. Kind of distract from doing all that and convince themselves that they, of a self-fulfilling type victory type thing. You know what I'm saying?
How could you do that? Did somebody proclaim a victory? See, this is why they claim victory.
I mean,
all right, okay.
Man,
well, look,
I don't know.
Can you please tell the people what's in store, when they can expect it, so we can close out?
Well, I'm gonna just I'm gonna drop that probably tomorrow. Tomorrow, probably in the afternoon-ish, because I'm gonna be off. Been off all week, so probably I got that how I cooked it up, dealing with 2 more chapters in my book, and I got 1 more after that. But I'm gonna drop that one probably tomorrow afternoon-ish, maybe in the morning, depending on when I get up and what I got going on. You feel me? But for sure tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We got the new age presentation game. We no longer hitting you with the PowerPoint and the Google slide. Sean then leveled me up. I'm only using Canvas now. So that's where we at. And that's that on that. No more Dogon. I'm not even talking about it no more unless I see sources in the description and a PowerPoint presentation.
Nah, you asking for too much. All right, so listen, y'all. Make sure that y'all are on the channel tomorrow to tune in, man, and get this knowledge from Chavis. He got something else cooked up for y'all. And like you said, we're gonna move on from the subject matter, and we appreciate everybody tapping in.
It's in the place we all get a share. Niggas gon' hate, do I look like I care? I was dealing with pain, frustrated with life. How many were there? Thanks to the few for staying true. I owe this to you. It all comes with paying your dues. Some couldn't walk a day in my shoes. Light on my feet, never lie in the ass. You hummingbirds can't say you're bumbling word. I'm way out of your class. Oh, do I share? Y'all master degrees. Life is a test, every day is a task. Progress to your best, give it all that you have. Group up the block, peel the paint off the F. Never lose sight of your goals. I made diamonds from from doubt. Turn my grief into gold. My destiny was set in stone. They selling ass and selling souls. Hands off Asada, hands off my pocket. You know that chopper, bodies probably rock the blocker. All they heard was bow, bow, bow. Sound like Waka Flocka. Straight to the top about it, ain't no doubt about it. Best believe we on the road. No limit, so we body, chiefin' on a whole lot of woe. Number one with a bullet, no. Similarly, boots hit the function, we Hennessy. I feel like 96 Tennessee. Yeah, ho, I'm on they head, fo. Always ignoring the sound. Now I put more in they mouth. Don't call me a king when y'all giving whores the crown. Y'all niggas watered down, and me, I'm prohibitionary liquor. I'm like a 9 on the Richter, sublime state of mind, no ordinary nigga.